is the Erin Marie Podcast, where the pussified mentality gets thrown in the dumpster fire where it belongs, and mediocrity gets We're talking total annihilation. She doesn't sugarcoat for the Care Bear motherfuckers who bang their victim drum, or anyone doing the backstroke in the cesspool they call life. This show is about getting off your ass and handling your because the fate of the next generation depends on you becoming mentally unfuckwithable. Let's rock it, you unapologetic Americans. This is the Erin Marie Podcast, and here she is.
What's up, community? I am Erin Marie, and this is the podcast where we build a brain that bends in your favor so you can become mentally unfuckwithable. That means on this podcast, we're going to touch the relationship side of you, the career side of you, the entrepreneurship side of you, the physical side of you, of course, the mental side of you, and the brain health side of you. All of it and everything in between. And here's what I ask in return. If this episode sharpens your aim, if it snaps you out of your emotional coma, if it wakes up something primal inside you, pay it forward. I want you to share the show, not just the entire podcast at large, but each episode that fucking hits. Call a friend, DM a colleague, text your cousins, screenshot it and throw it up on social. This isn't a movement that grows because it's cute. It grows because the tactics actually work. So this is the value exchange, the kind that you can be proud of. And if I can help you, I ask that you help me in return by sharing the show. Now, let's get into it, guys, because, oh, baby, I am dragging affirmations straight into the arena today by the throat. I'm talking bare knuckles, blood on the mat, no mercy, extreme violence, full beast mode that I know all of you love. So let me make this first point crystal clear right out of the gate. We all have to go through life. We all have to deal with shitstorms. We all experience getting bitch slapped emotionally by people we love. We've all faced betrayal, rejection, adversity, trauma, some type of loss. And when it hits, you have a decision to make. You can choose to deal with it head on and live to fight another day, or you can kowtow and take the ass beatings by the world as they're handed to you. And why would you do that? Why would you let the world roll you over when you've got fire in your DNA? Every single one of you listening right now has fire in your DNA. Every single one of you has a special skill set. You have a unique edge. You have a reason why you exist on this planet, which means you are not done yet. You were built for more. You were built to be great. We all have the ability to be great, but society has beaten you down so much and trained you to conform. We've been sold this lie that mediocrity is noble and that ease and convenience is a virtue, that feelings matter more than facts, that telling yourself you're a warrior in the mirror makes it so, that the idea of settling is good for you, good for your family, good for your soul. And society has beaten you down so much that we all get to the point where we don't even believe in ourselves anymore. And that is the exact thought pattern that I'm going after today. My goal here today is for you to do a total 180 in the areas of your life that you need to start kicking more ass in so that you can kick ass in life instead of life kicking your ass. Because today's message is about why your self-talk is fucked. Why those affirmations you tape on the bathroom mirror are actually screwing with your neurobiology, and why sitting there in front of the mirror saying, I am enough, when you know damn well that you're not doing enough, will actually set you back further. Because this isn't just about what you recite to yourself, guys. It's what you believe. It's what you wire into your brain through the action that you take and what kind of life you end up building from it. Today is about taking back agency over your life. Now, If you guys follow me on social media, you know that I don't miss. And what am I talking about? I train my body on the daily. Every single day, I engage in some type of physical exercise. No exceptions, zero deviation. And you know that because I post pictures of my drenched tank tops, my cardio aftermath. And those of you who do follow me know that I have posted my failed pull-up attempts. So I post all of it. Do I train my body on the daily because I want to look hella hot as fuck naked? Yeah. Do I want to live longer? Of course. But more than that, it's a daily reminder that success does not come from affirmations and talking to yourself in the mirror. It comes from doing the work behind closed doors. It's my daily war cry, if you will, a ritual that rewires my operating system. You don't just wake up one day with a decent body or that sex appeal that you want or a sharper mind. You build that shit brick by brick. You suffer for it. You put in the real work that makes you feel like an outsider in your own skin until you make it so. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, because I am so sick and tired of watching the victim clown crowd posting their entire dissertation on how bad they've got it, like it's a badge of honor. How much can one person bitch and whine before you realize that nobody gives a fuck about your poor little pity me party? People posting how their drama with the mama back in the 4th grade is the worst ever. No, bitch, your drama is not the worst. You are the worst. And that's the problem. And what do you guys really expect, really? We've raised an entire generation to believe that 12th place deserves a trophy and last place is a good place to be. And just by showing up means that you're totally crushing it in life. So when these same people get throat punched by real world responsibility, what do? They crumble. They have a total meltdown. They rage against reality because nobody ever loved them enough to say, you're not special. You've got more work to do. Nobody brought the realities of the world front and center for these people. So here's where I might piss a few of you off, but I don't care because you need to hear this, so here we go. What I see on social media from the masses, especially the social media gurus, is a toxic fantasy land. It's idealist bullshit of how the world should be, or how life should be, or how circumstances should be some sort of certain way. And their heads are so far up their own asses with this delusion that they confuse fantasy land with reality. Which brings me to today's target, the affirmation culture. I know you guys have seen it. It is all over. It's over Instagram. It's over TikTok. It's on your second cousin's Pinterest board. It's the buzzword movement that stands in front of the mirror saying things like, love yourself, or I inhale confidence, or I am beautiful. I am a badass goddess warrior, or the one I can't stand the most, which is know your worth, which I'm going to dig into pretty hard in just a minute. And it's going to make the ears of the feminist movement whack jobs bleed. But first, here's the truth that those gurus don't want you to hear. You guys can go stand in front of the mirror all day long, and you can tell yourself whatever the fuck you want to tell yourself. But if you are right now 45 pounds overweight, or you're broke as hell in your bank account, or engaging in toxic sexual relationships, and you're standing there lying to yourself with affirmations, let me tell you something. Your brain knows it's bullshit. Your nervous system doesn't rewire through fake words that you don't believe. It rewires through action, friction, exposure. Every time you say, I am successful, while totally ignoring the chaos you've created in your life, your brain codes it as a lie, which means you are building mental conflict, not clarity. And that internal conflict that you feel, that's why you feel like shit all the time. And that's exactly how you look at life, like life is total shit. Because deep down, you know that you are capable of more. And every day you ignore that, you dig a deeper hole. And this is a direct reflection of the action that you are not taking in life. Guys, back when I was at my rock bottom, I mean, like, I'm talking like the lowest of the low. I was engaging in toxic interpersonal relationships that were barely functional, not working out consistently, living hand to mouth. And I was the most mentally weak I have ever been, zero self-worth. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. I could have stood in front of the mirror and told myself shit like, love your body, and you are successful, and you are enough, until I was blue in the face. Wouldn't have mattered, guys. I felt like shit because I was living like shit. Plain and simple. I was miserable, didn't feel good about my body, didn't feel empowered, damn sure didn't feel motivated, blaming the world, failing in life, choosing to slut shame myself all around town, looking for a reason why the world and everybody in it hated me, instead of staring straight into the ugly truth and doing the unsexy work to rebuild my life from the ground up. And that is what the gurus don't want to talk about. They'd rather hand you a warm blanket of affirmations than the cold steel of personal accountability. They'd rather you feel good for a moment here and there than get good at life. They'd rather you play pretend than go build your journey of overcoming. They'd rather you roll over and get fucked in the ass with an affirmation cactus rather than take a closer look at the details in your life that suck and work hard as you fucking can to fix those details and fill your potential and be the champion in your own life. Because let me tell you, here's what the rest of us actually admire. We admire the person who can go to the mirror with every bit of courage they have. They can look themselves eyeball to eyeball, naked as hell in every which way, stare themselves down and say, holy mother of fuck. This is the cesspool dumpster fire I have been doing the backstroke in. This is my life, built by my own shitty ass decisions. And today is day one. Today, all that stops. We admire those people. No bullshit, no delusion, no idealistic fantasy land, Tinkerbell pixie dust. Just the cold, hard truth and a willingness to put an end to the bullshit. And if you can do that, I'm talking to you. If you can do that, then you belong here. But if you're sipping on the affirmation Kool-Aid, getting fucked up the ass with an affirmation cactus, balls deep in your emotional coma, living on the delusion train, I want you to wake the fuck up. I am not here to save you. I'm here to grab you by the shoulders and violently shake you into reality. Because if you have to stand in front of the mirror and say, I am good enough, then no, you probably aren't good enough. And you probably aren't doing shit in this world to be good enough. And if you have to go to the mirror and say, I am sexy, then the truth is, you probably aren't that fucking sexy and you're not going to be sexy in the future. Now, let me switch gears for a minute and talk to those of you who might be, I don't know, shaking your fist at me. Those of you who think I'm on the attacking the people who are a part of the getting fucked up the ass with an affirmation cactus delusion train crowd. Listen, guys, I'm absolutely not opposed to these people, okay? And let me tell you something. I will be the first to admit that I've been part of the affirmation delusion train. I have done that shit before too. I was drinking the affirmation Kool-Aid for like years. So listen, I get it. But what I want to shake out in wide open spaces are the people on the affirmation bandwagon who are not useful in their own life, who are not making positive changes, who are not doing the real work that makes them feel like an outsider in their own skin. The people who are taping up affirmation sentences on the bathroom mirror, reciting those affirmation sentences, clearly lying to themselves. They don't believe a single word they speak in front of the mirror, and they don't fix their situation. Those are the people that I am trying to shake awake. This is what I'm calling your attention to today. And if you're listening right now, if you are the one on the affirmation delusion train, and if you are, you know who you are, you know that you have more work to do in your life. You know that the decisions you made 90 days ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, have all led to the life that you are living inside right now. And no matter the amount of affirmations that you speak or how many times you say it, if you do not put in the unsexy work behind closed doors that nobody sees or claps for long enough to make changes, to shed the toxicity from your life, to build your journey of overcoming by taking productive action that gets you actual results, nothing will change. You will continue to recite affirmations, wondering why shit isn't working out for you. If you wake up every single day and you choose physical exercise and one word nutritious foods, and you say no to alcohol, cocaine, processed sugar, and you make positive choices, and you take your sleep hygiene seriously, and read personal development literature, and engage in interpersonal relationships that sharpen your iron, and you don't see immediate changes, but you still wake up and make choices like this every day, you will actually feel good about yourself because you're putting in the work behind closed doors consistently that's causing positive changes on a chemical and molecular level. And this is what gets you closer to building your journey of overcoming so you can chase your most ambitious desires and feel more fulfilled even though you're broke or in a living situation that's not ideal, but you still wake up and take positive action against your goals. Guess what? You likely won't feel like shit about yourself as much, and you're not reciting bullshit words in the mirror that you don't believe in anyhow because you don't have the time for the bullshit. You are off making shit happen. You are shape-shifting into who you're becoming next. Your friend circle has shifted, your body has shifted, and your focus has shifted inward to the neurobiological level, not outward into a fucking mirror. And here's another clean message you're not going to get from the blame stream media or the Care Bear motherfuckers or the affirmation delusion train trying to sell you karma and candles. You are not entitled to feel good about yourself. You are not entitled to self-respect. You're not entitled to high morale, high standards, high net worth, or a single ounce of confidence. You're not entitled to shit. And that's not negativity. It's the truth. The entitlement culture is emotionally disorganized, mentally undertrained, and neurobiologically frail. And nobody's telling you the truth, which is feeling good about yourself isn't owed to you. It's not enumerated in the Declaration of Independence or enshrined in the Constitution. It's not gifted to you by the universe. It's a neurochemical consequence of behavior. And what do I mean? Feeling good about yourself is a neurochemical outcome from building a brain that bends in your favor. Your brain functions by utilizing both chemical and electrical signals. So if you want to think sharper, handle stress better, turn your pain into joy, move through your shitstorms faster, have peace of mind, then go do the shit that elicits the chemical and electrical signals that bend in your favor. Your brain is shaped by patterns and it's built through behavior. So if you sit around, doom scroll, make excuses, continue to be inconsistent or recite affirmations that you don't even believe, it will activate a neurochemical cocktail that's filled with cortisol and shame and a puddle of regret instead of a mental weapon. So stop lying around wondering why you feel like shit all the time. Stop blaming your trauma, blaming your parents, blaming your spouse, or whatever zodiac bullshit that you cling to. If you want to feel fulfilled, earn the neural circuitry to feel fulfilled. Build the skill sets you don't have. Do the work you've been avoiding. Fix the patterns that are fucking you sideways. Your brain is not influenced by what you hope for. It's built by what you do. You are not stuck. You are mentally untrained. And the reason most people feel mentally fragile, quite frankly, isn't because they're broken. I want to make sure that you guys understand this. If you feel mentally fragile, you're not broken. It's because your neural infrastructure has been built for mediocrity. Every lazy decision, every excuse you make, every time you hit the snooze button instead of handling your shit, you're wiring your brain for mental weakness. You're conditioning yourself to be unfocused, undisciplined, and emotionally fragile. So when an emotional dumpster fire comes screaming at your face, and by the way, it will fly straight at your face, your brain doesn't end up rising to the challenge. It doesn't bend in your favor. Instead, you spiral, you stall, you mentally flatline, or you end up inside some mental coma for weeks on end. And instead of doing the hard thing, the right thing, the necessary thing, the required thing, you spin inside your same tired circles that you claim you hate. And instead of breaking your cycle, you jump onto social media to post your pity parade, looking for somebody to validate your mental collapse. That's why your pain keeps recycling. That's why your storyline never evolves. That's why your confidence feels like broken glass, because it's not built on earned self-respect. It's based on a journal full of glitter and feelings and affirmations that you don't even fucking believe. You want some self-respect? Here is the formula. It's very simple. Do the shit that scares you. Keep the promises you make to yourself, not to other people. No. Keep the promises you make to yourself first. Everybody else comes next. Show yourself dignity on the days you normally wouldn't. Go do the unsexy work behind closed doors that nobody sees or claps for. And then you press repeat over and over and over again until you build a life that you can be proud of. That is how self-respect is built. That's how the good neural circuitry gets reinforced. And that's how emotional stability becomes your new default. But standing in front of a mirror, broke as fuck, while you pile items into your shopping cart to buy while simultaneously reciting, "Know your worth," is not an example of empowerment. That ain't it. That's delusion wrapped up in a Hallmark card, also known as horseshit. And since we're on the topic of fake empowerment, let's talk about the most overused, underlived phrase in the modern feminist echo chamber of horseshit. And that phrase is "know your worth," which is uttered mainly by the women who hate their lives, hate other women who are more successful, and hate men. Those are women who bang their know your worth drum in front of other women, trying to convince them that somebody else is usually to blame for all that shitty in their life. And they usually blame men. They think men are to blame for being underpaid, underappreciated, the reason they feel lonely in this world, are stuck inside the mediocre lives that they secretly hate, and how all the women roaming this earth are too good for whatever position that they currently hold in life. That is Care Bear motherfucker talk. It's professional victimhood dressed up in a push-up bra, also known as false advertising, ladies. Men are not to blame. And if you believe they are, that's not empowerment. That's you being delusional as fuck. Because if you are a woman who believes she's actually underpaid, overlooked, or too good for where she is in life, yet you actually do possess the skill set, the knowledge, the competence, the firepower to earn more, then guess what, bitches? It's your fault for staying in that situation. It's not men. It's not the patriarchy. It's not your ex. It's not society. It's you. It's your low standards. It's the toxic interpersonal relationships that are barely functional you keep tolerating. It's your past decisions that you refuse to own. It's the exact cage you're standing in, built by you, that you refuse to acknowledge. And ladies, I'm not saying this to try and tear you down. On the contrary, I am saying this because I want you to rise the hell up and stop drinking the delusion affirmation Kool-Aid spoon-fed to you by the fake-ass feminist bitches who can't teach you anything other than how to hashtag your victim complex. From now on, if you want to rise up in the world, you have to do what other women won't, which is stop blaming and start building. Start making better decisions for your future self. Start building the real skills and knowledge that will land you in the places that other women have actually worked to be in. And realize that your bare minimum functioning mediocre ass deserves some sort of pay raise. You don't. The world doesn't pay top dollar for posting quote cards on social media. It pays you for results, and you don't have the results. So instead of telling each other, know your worth, while loading your shopping cart with overpriced shit that you can't afford, how about you go earn that fucking respect? Earn a bank account with breathing room, a banging body with an ass that won't quit. Earn a brain that can handle hard conversations and delayed gratification. Yes, bitch. All right, let's fucking go. Because in the female world I operate in, we don't care what size jeans you wear. We don't care how old you are or what your past looks like. We don't care if you're going through a shitty divorce and you're flat broke. We don't care if you're tattooed, pierced, religious, child-free, child-full, fresh off a breakdown with the mascara stains to prove it, or you're starting a brand new career from scratch at the age of 52. We care about one thing. If you show up for yourself, cut the excuses, muscle through the shitstorms, put the poor little pity me parties to the side, and do the real work that makes you feel like an outsider in your own skin. If you do that, we will welcome you with open arms, because that is what real empowerment looks like. Not affirmations, not blaming men, not pretending your bare minimum deserves a fucking trophy. It's doing the lonely shit. It's doing the hard shit that nobody sees or claps for. The shit that burns on the way in but rewires you on the way out. Nobody gives a damn what you look like. We care whether you are fixing the details of your life that keep you confined inside your own struggle. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me, you can hate me for what I say, but you all know that what I just said is the actual truth. Because guys, the truth is, most people never feel real fulfillment or peace of mind because they spend their entire adult life doing everything except fixing the details of their life that keep them miserable. And you know what? Some of you listening might be like, well, just so you know, Erin Marie, you don't exactly look like a supermodel and you haven't exactly hit billionaire status yet. Guess what, guys? You're fucking right. I don't look anything like a 5'11" Swedish supermodel. Okay, not even close. And no, I haven't hit billionaire status, yet. But you know what I have done? I've built a disciplined ecosystem that keeps me locked the fuck in day after day on the goals that actually matter. I've structured my life around execution, not affirmations. And I'm more proud of the woman I am today than I've ever been in my entire existence. So looking like a Swedish supermodel is irrelevant. Waking up and doing the shit that scares me until it doesn't anymore, yes, that's the shit that I live for. And do you know what happens when you start doing things like this? When you walk straight into the fire instead of tapping out? You train your brain to adapt. You gain momentum. You start building new neural circuitry that screams, I can handle my shit. And when those neural pathways fire stronger or more often than your old self-sabotage ones, you feel agency. You feel real control, real power over your own life. And when you feel like that, God, you stop playing small. You start taking bigger swings. You raise the fucking standard, not just on yourself, but everybody around you. You stop chasing validation and start demanding more results of yourself. That is how you shift your trajectory. That is how you win over and over again. That's how self-respect gets earned. Not by whispering lies into a mirror, but by stacking evidence that you are who you say you are. So can we finally eradicate the affirmation bullshit from your life that doesn't help make any of us better? In fact, listen, here's what you can do. Instead of repeating, I feel worthy, when your life is falling apart, try saying this instead. Here's your sentence. If I do the real work that makes me feel like an outsider in my own skin, I can do, be, feel, and then fill in the blank. Beautiful, worthy, proud of myself, unstoppable, because I've earned it, because I've built it, because I fucking live it. That's your sentence. It's a reminder you got to do the work. And here's another thing that you can do, right? Okay, so when I hit rock bottom, I knew that I needed to make serious seismic shifts in my life. And one of the first is I gutted my inner circle. I'm not talking like I trimmed nicely here and there like a bonsai tree. I gutted it the fuck out. I went through what I call friendship breakups, like actual true breakups with friends, just like you would in a romantic relationship, okay? Like full on phone deleting, social media blocking, don't look back in the rearview mirror, break the fuck up breakups. I stopped hanging out with women who gossiped, complained, or talked about how bad they have it. I even cut off relationships with family members, actually. So, like right now, if your name is not inside my focus on my phone will not ring, ding, or ping for you, which means I don't answer. Because if you were not or are not currently actively breathing inspiration into my life or saying positive things about my goals and the trajectory of my future, you no longer exist in my life. You no longer have access to me. And after I did that, what did I do? I replaced those people with people who were operating at the level I wanted to live at or higher. People who are smarter than me, more disciplined, more financially sound, more stable relationships, more spiritually grounded, more self-aware, more wise, more evolved. I surrounded myself with people who were more honest with themselves than I had ever been. And you know what happened next? My nervous system calmed the fuck down. My brain finally had space to rewire. That's the neurobiology most of you are missing. Stop carrying around the excuse that you need to be loyal to shitty people in their shitty situations and go replace those Care Bear motherfuckers with positive energy and people who expect more out of themselves and expect more out of you. You can't reprogram your life until you stop flooding your environment with the toxins and the bullshit. And here's what I want you guys to know about those friendship breakups that I went through. Okay, here's the wild part. When you start building a brain that bends in your favor, you finally have the energy to build your own fucking empire. And now, yes, I still wake up to the exact same demons in my head that used to cripple me, but guess what? I wake up and I face them head on. And I do the shit that scares me until it doesn't anymore. And that gives me control. And that control builds momentum. And that momentum builds belief. And that belief drives behavior. And that behavior produces results. And those results, they rewire my fucking brain. Not because I journal cursive about it. Not because I repeat some Pinterest mantra in the mirror. Because I do the work over and over again. And that is where you need to start too. You don't need a new life. You need a new standard. Start by exercising more discipline in your life where you need it. Force yourself to look at the details that you've been avoiding and then fix them. Start eating nutritiously. What you feed your body, you feed your brain. So feed yourself one-word foods: carrots, chicken, salmon, blueberries, cashews. One-word foods, okay? You get the idea. Eat better, sleep better, read better. Start reading material that challenges your thinking and feeds your brain, okay? Make better decisions, the kind that stretch your future. And when you do this, you create a neurobiological shift on a chemical and molecular level. Your brain stops looping in old toxic patterns and starts firing new pathways that say, we don't operate like that anymore. But you can only do this if you're consistent and you don't give up. Because when you start to feel better on the inside because of who it is that you are becoming, the outside has no choice but to catch up. And before all the victim clown Care Bear motherfuckers slide into my DMs with the, oh, you're so mean bullshit, let me remind you, I have walked through hell. I still walk through hell. And I still show up for myself and those I care for deeply. I still choose the consistent, unsexy work that nobody sees or claps for. And if that bothers you, then go eat a bag of dicks and find another social media community where excuses are holier than thou. You'll fit in nicely. Affirmations aren't going to build your journey of overcoming. So back away from the mirror and do the real work that makes you feel like an outsider in your own skin. And if you don't know what to do or where to start with that kind of work, then just ask yourself, what is the one thing I've been avoiding that would move the needle in my life? And then you need to go fucking do it. It's usually the thing that scares us the most. Or it is the relationship that needs to end. Or the details we've been burying that need our attention the most. This is the mindset shift that you need. You need to go from fantasizing about a different life to executing inside the life you are already currently living. You need to go from mentally masturbating about your dreams and about how you wish life could be different to actually doing the unsexy work that nobody sees or claps for. This is the mindset you need to start embracing because you haven't yet. And let me remind you, nobody is coming to save you. The person you're waiting for is you. And I get it. Listen, I get it. After all the chaos of your day, after a long day at work, or dealing with the kiddos, or dealing with the grocery store trip, or dealing with the spouse, or dealing with a presentation at work that went sour, or dealing with running errands, or 392 tasks on the list, the last thing that you want to do is jump into some sort of personal development coaching, or 60 minutes on the elliptical, or slave over the stove, fixing a healthy, one-word, nutritious food meal instead of ordering in. But that is exactly when it matters the most. Because when you show up for yourself in those moments, when you choose to do something positive, when you would rather crawl in bed and pull the covers over your head, guess what? You get to be proud of yourself. You get to progress in your journey, and you get to put your head on your pillow at night. And instead of you praying to fall asleep before you fall apart, you get to say to yourself, today I didn't fucking fold. Now I want you to imagine what your life would look like if you did that every single day for an entire year. 20 minutes of feeding your brain every day. 20 minutes of strengthening your body every day. 20 minutes of you building a new skill set. 20 minutes of choosing personal growth over convenience. No matter how much money you don't have in the bank, or how much weight you still have to use, or the skill sets you have yet to polish. How different would your life be? And I know right now, guys, okay, there's so many of you listening who are struggling. I see it in my inbox. You're living hand to mouth. You're pissed off at your job. You're 60 pounds overweight. You're emotionally wrecked from your divorce, wondering if anybody's ever going to love you again. You're feeling lost. And I'm telling you, it all ties back to the same fucking thing. Your unwillingness to do the real work that makes you feel like an outsider in your own skin. So what if, instead of whining and bitching and screaming into the phone and ruminating doomsday scenarios, you went and made a change today? What if you became obsessed with your personal growth today? What would your body look like? How much more would you earn? How fast would you bounce back from betrayal? How easy would it be to say no to all the energy vampires who drain your soul? How much different would life be if you stopped slamming alcohol downtown after work and instead go out and spend time kickboxing, or running a 5K, or strength training with weights? What if every toxic thought, toxic influence, toxic relationship were replaced with something productive and effective? You will never feel good about yourself staring in the mirror, lying to your reflection. You will only feel powerful when your words and actions match your identity. This is how you build self-worth. This is how you build your journey of overcoming and show others how it's done. This is how you get to feel that you're winning in life. This is where it all comes from, not a fucking affirmation. Affirmations don't pay your electric bill. Affirmations don't get you hired. Affirmations do not make your marriage stronger. Affirmations don't build your abs. If you want to truly change your life, if you want the crying to stop, if you want the hamster wheel to break, if you want to lose the weight for good, if you want a career that doesn't drain your soul, a relationship that doesn't question your worth, and if you want the freedom that you pretend you are already manifesting, then here is the truth. You have to show up for yourself when your heart is broken. You've got to bleed for it on the days that nobody's watching. You have to refuse to quit when your back's up against a fucking wall, because you're not just building your ultimate life. You're building a brain that bends in your favor. You're building a life that doesn't fucking fold. And that version of you doesn't need permission, doesn't need motivation. It doesn't beg for the world to clap. That version of you executes. So no, this is not about who you are today. It is about who you are becoming. When it's 11:47 p.m. and you're dragging your ass through a promise that you made to yourself that nobody even knows about, that's the version of you that wins. That's the version of you that builds an undeniable life. That's the version of you the world cannot ignore. So stop journaling with your pretty little glitter pin and calling it progress. Stop whispering affirmations in the mirror like they're going to save you, and stop pretending you're healing when you're actually hiding. Pick yourself up, get back in the arena, spit the blood out of your mouth, and walk straight through hell. Because on the other side of that hell is the real you. The one who was never coming to save you. The one who's been waiting on you to finally fucking rise. Now take this information, screw your affirmations, and go fucking win.
This has been the Erin Marie Podcast. So many people walking around out there are professional victims and complainers, and we ain't having it. If you agree and you've gotten something from the show, make sure to like, rate, and review. Remember, stay off your ass, no excuses, and never settle for mediocrity. Catch you next time on the Erin Marie Podcast.